Hello everybody and welcome back. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Christian Skoggs and I just wanted to come on here real quick. This is a completely unscripted video. I want to talk about my thoughts on the movie Sinners because I did see it last night. I'm recording this on Thursday. I actually went to the early IMAX 70mm screening. If you're familiar with this channel at all, you know that I actually made a video about IMAX 70mm. It's kind of cool that Ryan Coogler also came out and made his own video about it, and that video went viral. I guess it really goes to show that people do care about this format and that there is like a lot of love out there for it. So I'm definitely very excited to see that and very excited to talk about this movie with you all today because I think this is actually one of my favorite movies of the year so far. Sinners, for those of you who don't know, it stars Michael B. Jordan, it stars Haley Steinfeld. It tells the story of two brothers with gang backgrounds, or gangster backgrounds I should say, and they are coming from Chicago to Mississippi to start a new juke joint. They have a new place that they want to set up with different acts, and they do, and one night they are confronted by a supernatural force, and now they have to deal with that supernatural force. Obviously, there are more deeper contextual meanings to a lot of what's going on here, but it's pretty obvious just from the trailers and from the promotional material, and even like just like the general premise of this movie, like what that supernatural force is in question. I've seen other critics not want to spoil that for you, so in the interest of keeping this experience as fresh for you as possible, I think most people know what's going on, but I'm also just going to go ahead and not spoil that for you. So yeah, I think this is a really phenomenal film. I think it's wonderfully done, and I'm really thrilled that Warner Brothers actually had the initiative to greenlight this project and make it happen. You know, I think it's one of those things right now where I've done videos about this and I've talked about this before, but a lot of people tend to complain a lot of the times that there's no good original movies anymore. People just, you know, there's nothing good coming out. And it's always frustrating to hear that because, again, it's one of those things where it's like there are plenty of good movies that are actually coming out, and the only problem is that people like you are not going to see those movies. And, you know, I know in this economy, it's tough to be like, well, you have to go see these movies, you have to go support original movies, but I mean it when I say that if you truly want Hollywood to change and you want to make an impact in the industry, then yeah, you're gonna have to go see movies like this because that's really the bread and butter to how we can change the industry and how things can get better. So yeah, I guess right off the bat, that's already a recommendation from me to go see this movie. But, you know, even if you do, it's not just simply going to see it just to go support an original movie. You're also going to have a really, really good time watching this movie. It works as a drama, it works as a horror film, it works as, you know, there's a lot of comedic elements within the movie, so that all works really well as well. It's partially an action movie. This movie is just really, really cool. It's a really fun time. In regards to the IMAX experience, I am eager to talk about that because I'm always a big fan of the IMAX 70mm format. It was kind of rare to get a movie like that, but I think following Oppenheimer, it's become increasingly more common now. I personally really liked the experience, and I thought, you know, it was effective, and I really liked a lot of what they did here. I personally would have liked to see more scenes in the IMAX format. There wasn't as much of the expanded aspect ratio as one maybe would have hoped for, but obviously just kind of seeing it on film, you know, the colors are a lot more vibrant, they're a lot more rich. I think one of the biggest challenges that the filmmakers faced is that, and you know, this is something I actually can commend, is that it switches between two different aspect ratios. So you get the 276:1 aspect ratio, and then you also get the 143:1 aspect ratio, which is a huge switch between the two. And so to be able to see that difference, yeah, a lot of these IMAX scenes, there's going to be a lot of negative space. There's going to be a lot of, you know, negative space, I guess, where it doesn't really seem like a lot is being captured there. So it might be a little bit jarring, like if you're seeing it in that format, and you'll notice that more. But obviously, you know, a lot of the scenes that they chose to use the IMAX cameras for, it really sucked you in. There's one in particular in the joint that I think is probably my favorite sequence of the whole year. It's sort of one of those things where it's like, it really just, I think it showcases what we can do with cinema, and I was very excited to see just what they were pulling off with this. And so I think if you do go see this movie in IMAX 70mm, you definitely won't be disappointed in that regards. As for the performances, I think everyone does a really strong job here. Michael B. Jordan, he's always incredible in everything he does, but he plays twins in this movie. This is actually the third time this year that Warner Brothers has decided to make a movie that features an actor playing dual roles. We had Mickey 17 earlier this year. We had Alto Nights. I did not see Alto Nights, but that also has Robert De Niro in 2 different roles. And then now we have this. What's cool about it, though, I will say, is that one, I think the way in which the film is shot, it's convincing enough that these are 2 different people that are interacting with each other. But also the performances themselves, like Mickey 17, are strong enough that you can differentiate the 2 characters very well. They both have very different personalities, and they see the world differently and carry themselves very differently. And so a lot of the fun is being able to just see how they go through life and being able to learn about them. As for the directing, Ryan Coogler is one of those guys. He's been a really respected voice, I think, for over a decade now. He made his debut with Fruitvale Station. He did Creed and the Black Panther movies. Now, maybe I'll have to see Black Panther Wakanda Forever again, because it's, I only saw it once in the theater. I like Black Panther, but I think just when it came out, it was sort of one of those things where it was getting a lot of insane acclaim. It got nominated for Best Picture. It's the only MCU movie to ever be nominated for Best Picture. It grossed a lot of money, like $1.3 billion. And so I think when I kind of came out of that movie, I responded, I think, just the same way I would respond to any MCU movie, where I was like, yeah, it's good. I liked it. And I've seen it several times since, and I think my opinion on it still kind of stays the same, where it's like, yeah, it's cool, but if we're stacking it up against other MCU movies, I don't think it's quite as strong as, the rest of them. It's certainly not one of them where I'm saying it's one of the best or anything. I think if you're looking at that movie strictly in regards to themes and in regards to what the message is communicating, and even the characters and the villain, it does do that more exceptionally, I think, than some of the other ones. But the action scenes still are kind of whatever. I think the use of green screen was not great. It has a really good musical score. It won the Oscar for that score. So I think it's one of those things where it's interesting to just see Ryan Coogler's journey as a filmmaker. I really love Fruitvale Station, and I actually think this is one of his best works. Again, I'll have to watch Fruitvale Station again, but I was really impressed with what I saw here. Final thing, I guess, before we wrap this up, is that there is a post-credit scenes. There's 2 post-credit scenes, actually, and I would advise you to stay for both of them, because I think they're actually really, really strong, and I think you'll get a lot out of it if you do stay for that. So definitely don't miss it. I think this is one of the best movies of the year, and I'm thrilled to be recommending this to you guys, especially in a time where Hollywood is going through weird changes right now. We don't really know what's going on. People are, I think, begging for more original movies, but somehow not supporting them at the same time, which is really strange to me. So if you want to support original movies, if you care about cinema, if you care about the theatrical experience, then this is a movie you absolutely got to go see right away. Especially because right now, Warner Brothers is sort of in a shakeup. The 2 chairmen, I think it's of the film development, I think it's DeLuca and Abdi are the names. I know they're kind of their jobs are sort of in jeopardy, and they've been the ones that have been initiating a lot of these projects lately, these more original filmmaker driven projects. And if you know David Zaslav, he's the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. He's sort of trying to put a pause on that and say, no, we want more IP projects. So do me a favor, prove him wrong, go see this movie. If you can see it in IMAX, I think that'd be great. Although I will say I don't think you'd be going wrong seeing it in any format. I know there's a few that are also just doing a general 70mm experience. So if you happen to have that near you, I think that's also commendable and something that you can do as well. Anyways, guys, as for my rating, this gets a 9 out of 10. Just really remarkable, phenomenal stuff going on here. And I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Anyways, if you saw Sinners, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Hope you're all doing okay out there. And until next time.